Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book friends, and welcome to Bizarre Brain Comics. I am Gary, your host. This is where I like to take a look at some older comics, talk a little bit about the characters and creators, and examine the stories and the art. Well, this time, I'd show you a fistful, another fistful, more or less at random, of comics for grown-ups. Yeah, there have been a whole variety of comics that would fit into that category. But we're starting is with Robert Crumb's Mr. Natural. I've shown a lot of Crumb stuff before, and some Mr. Natural before as well. I may have even shown this particular issue. I'm not sure. I don't think so, because it was with some other stuff. But this is from Apex Novelties in San Francisco Comic. What does it say? San Francisco Comic Book Company. And this book is from 1983, but it is reprinting Mr. Natural material from around 69 and 70, as far as I can tell. And it's got some, of course, foul language, got some sex stuff in it, but it features primarily the great work of Robert Crumb, because these two pages are pretty safe, though. Mr. Natural's 719th Meditation and Sunny Side Up, just some really silly stuff. And of course, it's all early Mr. Natural stuff. And see, what's this? Here we go. And then here is a text piece. It's the origins of Mr. Natural. So it's the fictitious background of the fictitious character of Mr. Natural. And of course, it features the comic features Flaky Foont, and looks like maybe Schumann the Human. I'm not sure. It might be this might be a proto Schumann the Human. And then, nope, can't show that one. Nope. There, that's okay if I hide that part. Oh, hide that part. Then there's Mr. Natural, Old Man, featuring a little cutie. All right, little cute. But I love Crumb. I love Mr. Natural. He's probably my favorite Crumb character. Some wonderful stuff. Then here we go is Quack. Quack number 4. There's Steve Leialoha did this cover. This is from 1977, and it is from Star Reach Graphics. I've shown some Star Reach, and I'm going to do some more Star Reach here in the future. There's the Wraith, but this was more adult. But the thing with Quack is that it's all funny animals. Well, this was at the beginning, or probably even a bit before, the resurgence of funny animal comics in the early 80s. And because it features a Western story. This is one of his characters telling the story here. Home on the Range Rabbit by Steve Leialoha. And with some other stuff. Sergeant Duck of the Mounties. And of course, this is more mature. This is Star Reach Graphics. Oh, what's this one? Yeah, On the Skids, Into the Breach, or Follow Me If You Got the Balls. and various other things. It was had some foul language and stuff, but this was from Star Reach Graphics, and Star Reach was wasn't exactly underground, but it was usually produced by regular mainstream comic creators. The artwork, and of course, it was produced, published by Mike Friedrich, who was a mainstream writer and usually featured mainstream stuff, mainstream artists and other writers as well, but doing some unusual things. And it was called Ground Level because it wasn't underground and it wasn't exactly the mainstream overground stuff. And it was called Ground Level Comics. Then we got some naughty stuff. This was I've forgotten the name. It's so small here. Starhead, that's it. Starhead Comics. This is Roberta Gregory's Artistic Licentiousness #1. I've showed another issue of this, and this was in the 80s. This is what 80s, 80s, 90s. And I can't find it. I'll take a quick look here. Yeah, 1991, and it was doing very adult material, and most of the stuff can't really be. Okay, here's a couple pages because I love Roberta Gregory and her work, and oh, and this is at the time when she was real popular with her Bitchy Bitch title, and then so she. This is part of what, in a paragraph in here, Roberta Gregory calls, or the publisher calls. Yeah, I think it was Roberta who wrote that. Part of the smut glut in that period in there. There was a lot of smut in comics, but it was a little different. It was fantasy oriented. This is mythology, fantasy oriented, and then on the flip side was Incubus. This is Incubus Incubus 2, #4, from Xenophile, part of Palliard Press, and this was done by Colin Upton, and this was just as filthy as. Yeah, here we go. I love his artwork, his autobiographical stuff. This is even here plugging his book Big Thing, and he is big. And again, like I guess involving not quite furries, but more mythological characters, and they had some other stuff that did involve furries. Is this? Nope. Don't want to show that. It's too graphic. Okay. Then here we have. This is from. Was it 87? I'm thinking it was. 8-Ball #1 by Daniel Close, and it says right there, recommended for mature readers. That's for grown-ups. And, of course, this is a title that really made Daniel Close very well known and very popular. And which and this is the venue where he presented his graphic novels here in 8-Ball, like serialized like a velvet glove cast in iron, which was the main thing. They had some smaller stuff. They had young Dan Pusey, also Lloyd Llewellyn, and in this issue is Devil Doll, but you can see here some very lovely. His work is very stylized, but it's an intelligent, mature stylization, very slick and very professional appearance to his graphics and his inking techniques. And he would tell some very unusual stories, and probably the best of his graphic novels that he did was Ghost World, which was made into a movie, which starred Thora Birch and a very young Scarlett Johansson, and where's a laughing, spitting man, some weird stuff. Now where's this one? Did I miss it? Did I pass it? Because it wasn't very long. There it is. Yeah, I think it's just like 2 or 3 pages. Is Devil Doll, in which it's a parody of the more or less a parody of the chick religious tracts. Yeah, it's very and very onion. It even has them right there. It talks about it. So, and this is number one. I only have a few. I used to get it very frequently, but I don't know how many issues I've got anymore. But I'm fortunate that I still have issue number one. Then we go here to Domino Lady, number one of three. Well, I don't have all three of them, but I have the first two, done by Ron Wilbur, and this is from Eros Comics. And Ron Wilbur really liked the. I've talked a little bit about him before, and he. No, I don't think I've done that one yet. Anyway, he kind of started in fanzines and the like, and did a lot of comics, and he was really into a lot of the pulp magazines from there, and that's where Domino Lady comes from. It was a public domain character, and took her and really went hog wild. You can get here's Hell's Fanged Horror of Doom, and she also had a follow-up mini series of Domino Lady in the Jungle. And but it also, of course, real hard-edged action adventure. Whoops, but had a lot of sex and nudity in it. Is that one? And of course, that's why it was published by Eros. And Eros published in the late 80s, early 90s, a lot of stuff published and republished by Eros. A variety of things from that was just sheer filth, nothing but sex, to actual legitimate action adventure stories with a lot of sex involved and nudity. And here's some more. Then also from Eros, but this Liz and Beth from Eros Comics, and it's adults only. I've forgotten who did this. They even have. I can't show that. G. Levis, writer and illustrator, G. Levis. And find something here that's not too. You can see here. This is about the characters Liz and Beth were thrown together. I think they're in a girls' school or something like that, or finishing school, something. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And he gives some really nice artwork. Nope, can't show that one. Nope, can't show that one. Nope. A lot of nopes, but you get the idea. And at this point in time, that so much of this sexy comics was even a little bit later. Penthouse magazine was publishing their own. It was called Penthouse Comics, and it was again, it was stuff that was primarily produced by mainstream comic creators, writers, and artists, and a lot of superhero stuff. But it was all, involved a lot of sex and nudity, as one might expect from Penthouse Comics. Then here we have Ground Pound Comics from Blackthorn, which is surprising. This is from Blackthorn, but it was reprinting work by John Pound. If I remember correctly, he was one of the main artists at Topps trading cards, and was involved in the Garbage Pail Kids and cards and stuff like that. And so he did a lot. And this is mostly reprint stuff of his from the 90s. From the 70s. A lot of. So as you can see here, this is kind of foretelling the Garbage Pail Kids and stuff. Parody, Ronald the Barbarian. Oh, the Wishing World. This is a parody of Wallywood science fiction. And did a lot of that stuff. And then here we have, there's no numbers to it. This is Vulgar Vince from Throb Comics. And what was his name? Did he give his name? I've forgotten. By Patrick Finney. Art and story by Patrick Finney. Just I don't remember the story of this. And this doesn't, I can't find a date anywhere in here. So I'm thinking mid to late 80s. But it's definitely, it's not graphic, not a whole lot of nudity. It has foul language, and it has some implied sex stuff in here, and it's very unusual. But the art style makes me think of Grass Green, even though it's not him. And then we finish this up with Pure Images. It was a series from, again, no dates, but it's this is Pure Images. Had a lot of stuff about articles and the like about comics in it, backgrounds on Spider-Man and everything. Here, in this case, it's Pure Images, the Spumco Bastards, with this Bill Ray cover painting, and he was one of the people involved in Spumco, and starts off. This was his name, Greg Theakson. That's who published it. And he wrote the article. Here's an article about Jack Kirby in here, and then right in the center is a few pages of comics, again by Theakson, and this was a continuing storyline. Oh, real monstery stuff. Ooh, cool! And it's a robot monster. So it's like a Kong versus Godzilla type thing. And the artwork is very much in the vein of Steranko. Has a very strong Steranko influence in there. And then here in the second part of it is Spumco and Company, Modern Masters of Animation. Because remember, Spumco were the creators of Ren and Stimpy. And this is only part one. And I've got one or two other issues of Pure Images, if I still have them somewhere. But this is real unusual. So that is what I have to show you this time for some grown-up comics. Just to share with you. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. Please like, share, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think of any or all of these comic books for grown-ups. And thank you for joining me. And remember, comics are art.